Nashik city is flooding, but there are certain questions about it. First, how come a rain shadow area can flood like this because of rainfall? Why Godavari is welling up? Does it have to do with the fact is it seasonal or perennial, or climate change has a hand behind it? And most importantly, what can be done right in this given situation? Hello everyone, welcome to Vajiram and Ravi's Flash News. My name is Shubhangi Singh, and in today's session we are going to answer all the aforementioned questions. So let us begin with understanding that what exactly is unfolding. So as of now, the whole of the Nashik districts and places around it, they are witnessing humongous floods, and this comes with already few deaths, Godavari welling up, multiple temples drowning out. Now when we are looking at the flooding here, of course we have to recognize the fact that Nashik lies in the rain shadow area. Another thing that we have to take up from right here, that as of now Godavari has crossed the danger mark. Now when we are looking at a region in rain shadow area, how come it is flooding? Let us answer that first. Because when we are looking at the location of Nashik, let's see in this given map, we clearly get to see that how it lies on the leeward side of the Western Ghats. Now what do we mean by the leeward side? If we have Western Ghats here and certain regions on this side, this is where the wind will come. This is known as the windward side, and the side on the other side of the mountain happens to be the leeward side. Now this leeward side is the rain shadow region that is we are talking about. Now because of this, we have to establish how come floods are happening here. So the first fact that you need to understand right here, that rain shadow area does not mean no rainfall at all. It basically means that limited rain will be there as compared to the other regions. So if you see the marked yellow area, it will show you moderate rainfall. What do we have on the windward side? Windward side we have heavy rainfall, but on the leeward side we have moderate or lower average of annual rainfall. So the first explanation here is rain shadow area does not mean that there will be no rainfall at all. The second and the better explanation for this situation is, when we are marking a rain shadow area, it is done based on the climate, the climatic factors, that means the long-term weather patterns that we have seen. But when we are looking at flood, when we are looking at rainfall, this is a weather phenomena, that means a short-term thing. So as of now, what we are witnessing in Nashik is a culmination of weather phenomena. So remember here, rain shadow, climatic concept, but when we are looking at floods, driven by short-term weather events. Now the second question that we would be moving towards is to understand this flood situation which involves Dakshin Ganga, that is Godavari River as well. So when we are looking at this, let us first see that how we are looking at this whole basin. Now when we are looking at Godavari River, it originates at Trimbakeshwar. This is broadly the Godavari Basin, not just covering one single state, but many of them including Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, some parts of Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. Now can you tell me in the comment section, what is the place where Godavari drains into Bay of Bengal? Let me know in the comment section. Now when we are looking at the Godavari Basin, which is looking at flooding, the first question that might be in your mind, is it seasonal or perennial? Given this river of big size and how it has water throughout, it is a perennial river. That means it has water present throughout. The flow of water is maintained throughout the year. And this is where we have to understand that how come it is a perennial river. Because whenever we talk about the South Indian rivers, we usually bifurcate them, differentiate them with the North Indian rivers based on the fact that many of the South Indian rivers are seasonal and North Indian rivers, that means Himalayan rivers, they are perennial. So the distinction is not North Indian, South Indian, it is Himalayan and peninsular rivers. So in this context, the reason Godavari is a perennial river, first it originates at Trimbakeshwar. Now when we are talking about this particular area, this lies very close to the Western Ghats specifically. So when we are looking at Trimbakeshwar, this is the place which receives heavy rainfall. right? Now because there is substantial monsoon recharge, that is why it has water enough to last for the year. Apart from that, there is groundwater base flow as well, which complements this recharge. And apart from that, Godavari has multiple huge, humongous tributaries present as well. When we are looking at tributaries, we have Indravati, we have Vainganga, we have Pranhita and also more. Apart from that, because man-made features are also present, we have multiple reservoirs which release water to ensure the downstream flow of this river is properly maintained. Now, if this is ensured, it is a perennial river and the water flow is ensured and reservoirs are present, how come these were not used to control it? Now, this is where we have to factor in, this river is not in deficit of water at all, right? There might be challenges in terms of pollution, in terms of groundwater recharge and more, not deficit. And this is the exact situation that facilitated the present flooding that we are talking about. The weather systems emerged as such that we saw the flood. So, in this situation, even though last 2 days we have seen more than 90% of India cloudy, it was not a cloudburst situation, it was rather an intense rainfall situation because of multiple factors which have led to this flood. The first reason here is of course the active southwest monsoon, which has been bringing moisture laden winds from the Arabian Sea continuously, and we have to also acknowledge that how there is a 10,000 kilometer long cloud present across India from past 2 days. That means something as big as from India to South Korea. In the year we were talking about Godzilla El Nino, we have a Godzilla cloud present in front of us. Second factor that you have to consider here is the orographic rainfall. If you remember, I just mentioned Trimbakeshwar. Trimbakeshwar lies very close to the Western Ghats. Western Ghats get the rainfall, orographic rainfall, because the mountains are present, winds are coming, they go upwards, condensation takes place, temperature is down and precipitation happens. So, this is where we are seeing recharge more than usual, water recharge. And this is where we also have to recognize the problem is not only at the origin point, the rainfall because of active southwest monsoon, this is happening across the basin of Godavari. So, Godavari is not welling up at one point, it is welling up, getting recharged more than it is required across the basin. Now, because reservoirs which are used to maintain the water, to control the flood situation, they are also full. That is why the water has had to be released, and the catchment areas, because of basin-wide rainfall, they are already saturated. So, all in all, water was already there enough. Basin-wide rainfall because of active monsoon has added to the water, and we are seeing a flood situation in front of us. So, what we are looking at this situation, it is not related to a single weather event. It is related to a basin-wide weather event which is unfolding right here. And that is what brings us to the next point here, that how come Godavari Basin is becoming more and more vulnerable? The answer here is clear and direct, that is climate change. We can't directly blame climate change when we are talking about increasing the total rainfall everywhere, but of course we can directly link climate change and rainfall variability. That means the continuous change in the expected rainfall that is happening. And similarly, Godavari Basin is also seeing that rainfall variability. When we are talking about this basin, it is being increasingly exposed not just to floods but also droughts. And there are multiple climate linked concerns. We are seeing extreme rainfall already. Last to last year, we saw a long dry spell. Because of this variability, the irrigation demand, so as to ensure proper food productivity, remains higher, because this whole region that we are talking about is a rain shadow region, and because of this irrigation demand, the variability, reservoirs remain under stress. Add to that, we have delta vulnerability because the downstream flow is compromised, we have habitat loss, we have wetland loss and extreme heat stress present in the region. And all of this is climate induced. This is not something that we can pawn off as a weather short term phenomena. So the question arises here, what can be done? The answer is climate resilience has to be brought in for hydrology as well, because when we are talking about the hydrological aspects, climate change is also directly attacking them. So we need to bring in climate adaptation to the basin level planning so as to ensure that we are not acting only when there is a drought or a flood, but rather we are full-time engaged in ensuring that the basin level issues are addressed. And that will start with better water accounting, such as scientific monitoring of the river flow, reservoir measures, optimization, and proper budgeting that exists across the basin. We have to complement it with technology, better flood forecasting, drought preparedness, which needs to be done in a manner where we are bringing crop planning, water efficient irrigation, rainwater harvesting, and more. So this flood is yet again a reminder that yes, there are things that are going directly wrong, not just across one river, but across basins, across countries, across habitats, and across the globe because of climate change. The sooner we recognize and act on it, the better our futures might be secured. Let me know your thoughts on this. I'll be waiting for them in the comment section. This is the prelims practice question for today. That was all from my side. Thank you so much.